Welcome, boys. In this video, we're going to be replacing this stupid gay shifter and putting something a little less gay in here. So, if you've seen any of the other videos, you already know. I'm not going to wiggle it because I think it's in gear? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, if you put this thing in first, third, or fifth, it bangs into the thing here, which actually I remember there used to be a knob. Okay, so yeah, now it's in neutral. So if you go first, well, it's not hitting it now because for some reason the knob went missing. So I need to figure out where that went. But if you had your fingers on here, it's going to bust them. So you have to like drive it kind of gaily. So we're gonna do something about that. So it's in neutral now. And we're gonna take everything out of here. A lot of this stuff's already missing. It looks like I have one bolt holding this plastical deal on. There's nothing holding this in. There was these 10 millimeters, like two of them, one there and one there. And then this is supposed to have something in it as well from this side holding it in place, but that's not on there. And maybe when I pull this cover off, there might be something holding the rest of this in place. We'll find out. As you see, that's not being held in place anymore. But there should have been something in there. And so, yeah. So I've got a new shift ball from Speed Dog, and then I got a new boot. I don't think I can install that now, though. I'm gonna have to take that out when I get actually to my house, and then I should be able to have more time to put the proper boot on. But I got a new brass shift bushing deal. The hardware for the console, I think they're like a hex head or something. Kind of hard to tell in the packaging. And then we got this guy, my shift lever, and this should be the short throw bottom part thing that you kind of saw in there, with I think the lower boot, inner boot, I guess. So we're gonna get everything taken off, so I can get this thing kind of sort of up and running and drivable, perhaps. All right, console out. All I had to do was lift this up and get it kind of vertical after I pulled the deal off, and then finagle it out past the shifter and past this, and then the bottom part stays in here. So that should be good enough. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I'll have to figure it out. Maybe this used to be an automatic at some point in time. I don't know. This is either a hatch release button or harness thing, or maybe if you had that option, or perhaps it is, if this used to be an automatic. No, well, no, because there's a shift pattern on the thing. This must have always been a manual. Hell if I know. I don't know. There's a thing here. I don't know what that goes to. We'll burn that. I'll figure it out, I guess. I bought a Haynes manual recently. I'll be able to look through that. All right, so now you get this thing out of here, so I can replace it with the good one, and then hopefully not have this thing happening. All right, be back. Okay, boys. So we have the gay shifter out now. I didn't have a wheel bearing grease because this is what happens when I work on cars not at my house. I don't have the correct tools or materials, so white lithium will have to do. I did bring that with me. Also, I don't know where these wires are going to, but I like how old boy doesn't believe in grommets, so we just have like naked wires running through a hole in the chassis, and I'm sure that won't cause problems later. Not even a little bit. So I'll have to open this up again later and do something with that for sure. I have to figure out where these wires go and unplug them. But that's neither here and there. So I got the gay shifter out. This lower boot thing I have kind of pried out of the way. I think this is metal. It's very stiff and rigid. So I undid the one screw holding in. It looks like there's supposed to be several, and just bent it that way, because I can't move the carpet out of the way to see if there's another screw holding it in. But from underneath, I can see there is one on that side. But I tried to get to it, couldn't get to it, so whatever. The bend has to stay for better or worse. So the gauge shifter's out. And this is out. And also, I won't need the brass bushing because there's already one in there. And yeah, so I wanted to lube that ball end with grease, but I didn't have any, so white lithium it is. So they give me RTV to make a gasket to put that on, or the silicone gasket. I'll just use the silicone gasket since silicone gaskets are reusable, I think. And I am going to have to take it off again when I get some actual grease to put on there. So this will have to do for now, but I guess if that gets destroyed, whatever, I have RTV and I'll just RTV it at a later date. So now let's get to putting that in using the hardware they have provided. Okay, so I have the new one in a 13 millimeter, tighten them down just like to take the other ones out. And I'm going to have to take them all apart and put thread locker in there since I recommend it, and I didn't bring any. But I just tightened down until the gasket bulged slightly. Call that a boom done. So now what we need to do is put these guys in here, and those are going to be the little deals you put in to stop the lever from moving. So if we look at the old one, he has a nut, and then on this end, no washer it looks like, and then a bolt in the middle on either side. So I'm guessing he put each one down in here with enough room, threaded it through, and then whenever this hits essentially when you get to the back of on this side, either 2, 4, and reverse. I guess in this one we'll just go to 4, and then this one would have been 3. So once you hit 3, as far as you can go, then that's where you put that. So you can't overextend it. Now these are slightly different. Well, this actually does come with washers, 2 giant nuts, and looks like it takes an Allen and goes through on one end and then butts up against it. So I'm just going to thread it through either side until it hits, and then get it in place so that we don't overextend it. And then I can put that little boot back on before putting that bent boot back on. Okay, this would have been way easier with a ratcheting wrench, but I used the split washer up against the 14 millimeter nut and then the provided Allen key. You put it in a third, back that thing off a scotch, hold it in place with the Allen, and then tighten the 14 mil. So ratcheting wrench would have made it a million times easier. Instead, all I had was, again, because I'm not at my house, I had to bring this, and this had to do. So, is possible, kind of a pain in the ass. And this one I put in second instead of fourth. Fourth is kind of hard to get with no leverage in there, so I just put it in second and then did the same thing. So that'll have to do. We can make adjustments later if we need to, because we have to take that off anyway for greasing that ball and Loctiting those bolts through there. Because if you use the RTV method, you can probably use these, and then you won't need to, because it comes with 4 split washers and 4 of those flat washers. But since I'm using the gasket, and don't use both, by it says don't use both, it says one or the other, so it's like, okay, well, silicone it is. Since I'm having to take it off later anyway, I don't want it to be a pain in the ass. So, okay, now I can fold this thing down, put that boot back on, and then work on getting it set up to where it needs to be. Okay, boys, while I do appreciate them including this, I wish I was at my house, because I could have saved myself a lot of time and effort by using my master hex set, putting it on a socket and zipping these things on, because they are captured on the side with this square looking nut, so you only need to tighten from this side. But oh, the pain of having to make 100 million repetitive motions with all your strength instead of 30 seconds of zip, zip, zip. But I think this is where it needs to be, so I put this side on. You just let it slide down until it stops, and then zip those two on. I did that for the passenger side. I came over here to the driver's side to make sure where I wanted this thing aimed, and I think that's pretty good. It's pretty much as aimed at me as it can possibly be. So this slot is kind of at like the, I guess, 4:30, 5 o'clock position, perhaps. don't bring your digital watch for this because, you know, you can't really see. But I think we're somewhere between 4 and 5, so we're going to call that 4:30. And then I think this one's kind of aimed at, we'll say, 10 o'clock, perhaps. And then this one I just have turned where it's at me from the seated position. So I think that's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then reverse. Very notchy, which is fine. It doesn't take much to go into first, though, unless I'm hitting the stop too early. But we'll know once we start this thing and confirm that it goes into gear. It's just compared to the other ones, first is barely anything, and then second seems like a little further. But I mean, first is right fucking there. It takes like no effort to get it there. So not the worst thing. I just hope that we're right, and I don't have to back any of those things off. I will later. I just don't have to now. Okay, so now we just need to put the shift knob on. And I guess I'm going to put the console over so it doesn't look so gay. But maybe I won't, since I have to take it off anyway. Maybe I'll just leave the console off. I'll just put the shift knob on for now. Adjust my carburetor and call it a day. But to do this diameter is bigger than this by a wide margin. So my kit does come with a brass dealio that is threaded on the inside and the outside so that it matches this to that. And then with this jam nut that will keep the ball from moving. Alright, boys, and that's it for the MGW shifter installation video. So I think that's good. It's aimed right at me. Should be easy to grab. No more banging into the stupid thing. Now I'm like literally nowhere near it. That's still a short engagement for first, but I don't think that has anything to do with the thing. I went ahead and readjusted the front, one of those stop rod dealios. So I get a little bit further into third, it looks like, and fifth, but one's still short, which I guess that's just how it is, because it's nowhere near the stop rod. I have it to where it's just, in fourth there, it's just almost touching it. And it is touching it in 2, 4, and reverse. So that should be fine for now. If I need to do any fine tuning, I will whenever I RTV the thing, and then take my shift knob back off, and then put the put my console back in. But for the drive to my house, I will leave the console off. That way I can make sure everything's good to go. All right. Hope this helped. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.